So even your father, Rio said on the payphone. He had called Akira's house, wanting to see how he was doing after their battle against the water demon Kamu. Yeah, apparently, there wasn't a demon that went inside of me at the Sabbath. Instead, it was a part of me. So it awakened. This could be troublesome. What do you mean? Akira would ask. You don't think that you're the only dormant hybrid out there in the world, do you? What? You're saying there could be others? Who knows? If they're only awakened by the triggering of more demons, then we have to stop them. There's no telling how many sleeper agents there are in the world. It'll just cause it to spread faster. And even if we stop them all, Akira would say, we'd have no way of knowing if there are more out there in the world or not. What exactly would our plan be after that? I mean, it's just, there's no need to think that far ahead. All we have to do is continue our hunt. The more we're able to take down, we weaken their forces. My dad mentioned a name, someone he believes behind all this. Someone called Master Pandemonium? Master Pandemonium, Rio said. You ever heard of him? No, I haven't. But with a name like that, I doubt he does any good. If he's the one that's leading a charge of demons, then he's our target. Most of the time, they're usually mindless creatures. Until they're able to adapt, their conscience begins to grow. If someone's actually molding demons, getting them all under his control, well, you know just how dangerous that can be. What exactly should we do? What we've been doing. It seems like everyone else is out of commission right now. That just leaves you and me. All right then. As Akira hung up the phone, he still felt this urge growing inside of him. It was a cardinal urge, an urge of lust, an urge of desire. It had gotten to the point where Akira couldn't get any sleep, and he decided to sneak out for the night, deciding he'd go for a walk, letting his instincts guide his footsteps. In the meantime, meetings were being held in various locations, as different groups were gathering, assessing the growing threat of the demon in the world. Among them, the higher-ups of Jujutsu Society, meeting with the heads of the three noble clans, the Gojo clan, the Kamo clan, and the Zenin clan. It has always been understood that we would be the ones to deal with the cursed spirits. We leave the hollows to the Shinigami, the head of the Gojo clan said. It's too much on us to deal with them. It was a way of keeping the balance, wasn't it? How did something like this even happen? Because of the evil that's growing in the world, a member of the Kamo clan said. It's only going to get worse as more humans are born. Curses follow suit. It would be a lot easier if humans could just adapt at using cursed energy. That would make the problem non-existent. But that would be impossible. There's no possible way of converging everyone on the planet into being a cursed user. It's simply impractical. Well, it seems that impracticality has arrived at our doorstep. Meanwhile, Azazel will also be having a meeting with an old friend. A drink? Azazel would say. No, thank you. I've come here on business, Azazel, nothing more. Ah, you're a party pooper, Damien. It's the good stuff. I got it from France. So, I'm assuming that you're here about the whole demon issue? They're starting to become more and more of a pain. I have my generals looking into it. If worse comes to worse, we're ready for a fight. I don't know about His Majesty and the other kings, but I assume that they'll be of a similar mindset. Getting you three to agree on anything is next to impossible, Damien would say. It's not like we don't want peace. It's just that there are those within our own factions who still have a lot of bad blood from the last war. And you're one of the old heads that managed to survive that war. In the end, it was all pointless. A three-way deadlock that got us nowhere, reduced our forces down to almost nothing, and we've gotten so desperate that we're now recruiting humans into our ranks. Honestly, if Earth has any benefit, it's the fact that you humans are able to repopulate like weeds. I mean, every time I turn around, it's like another few million end up arriving on the planet. And then there are humans who aren't being recruited. When they die, they're usually being taken in by the Shinigami, usually going back to the Soul Society. That is the way of the world. The only thing that matters is making sure that the gateway to hell stays closed. Otherwise, we'll really be in for it. So, Rosweisa, it seems your trip has been more enthusiastic than I would have originally anticipated. Lord Odin, this is serious. The growing threat of the demon is, yes, I'm aware. What I'm surprised by is that you haven't returned to Valhalla. You seem to spend a lot of your times in the human realm. What? Do you enjoy playing schoolgirl? Are you hoping to find a man? Lord Odin, this is not the time for such vulgar talk. And no, what I do is none of your business. I'm just trying to... Well, there's no need to worry about it. All is fine in the realm of Valhalla. If you wish to help the humans, that's your prerogative. In the end, I feel like branching out will do you some good. Wait, so are you going to... No, I'm not going to get involved in it. Asgard has no issue or qualms when it comes to the demons or the demon realm. Besides, the demons are a product of the use of human curse users and of the Hollows. Personally, I believe that anything that's causing chaos should just be destroyed. Mighty shame what happened to the Quincy's, but it can't be helped. In the end, unless they bring their trouble to the foot of the Allfather, I have no reason for getting involved in this fracas. However, I do give you permission as my Valkyrie to act as a representative. If you wish to fight on behalf of the humans, that's your own lot, and anyone else for that matter. That sounds really bad, Rangiku would say. Where are you calling me from? Ishin, I can get to you in just... No, there's no need for you to do that. Besides, I was still here to investigate the disappearance of that other Shinigami anyway. You could say that I'm just adding this to my list of duties. This is serious. If Captain Yamamoto finds out and you didn't tell him, there's no need to worry about good old Captain Yamamoto. When it's all said and done, I think I'm probably going to be getting out of the Shinigami business, if you know what I mean. What? Does this have something to do with that girl? The Quincy? You're really going to give all of this up for her, and it's not just that. I feel like I could do more good on the outside. Way more than I could in. Squad 10 will be in capable hands. And I haven't even made a final decision yet. I'll keep you posted for now. Just let me know if anything changes. Fine. But be careful, Ishin. Seriously. In the meantime, Akira would find himself going through the motions as he arrived into the red light district. As he did so, given his larger body and frame, it helped him not stick out like a sore thumb, even despite not being in a place that was suitable for someone like him. This is where his footsteps had taken him, and now he found himself in a place where the rules and morality had gone out the window. However, even as Akira kept to himself, there were those that were watching him from a distance. As he made his way through the streets of the red light district, a rather savory and sultry voice would call out to him. The woman known as Cyrene would beckon him forth into her chambers, looking to seduce him, although not for the reasons that you might think. At first, her words of warmth and invitation, bringing Akira into her quarters as she would attempt to seduce him, to have him fall for her allure and her charm. As he found himself wrapped into her embrace, she would speak to Akira, although not to him specifically. Instead, she called to the other half, the beast that lay within him. This causing Akira's powers to stir as she too would transform and change, morphing from the beautiful woman to that of a feathery beast, a woman whose legs would turn into talon-like claws. She began to morph into a demon. In return, Akira would morph into that of the Devilman. Now, losing his sense of lust, he instead craved absolute destruction. The two would be enthralled in a battle as she took to the skies, Akira following suit. Rio, thankfully, wasn't too far behind, but he was keeping his distance, a smile etching across his face. He had taken some setbacks, even more so now that Akira's father was back in the picture. But he had ways of getting what he wanted, and for now, the only thing he could do was bide his time. He watched as Akira would crash into an empty warehouse with Serene. As they continued on in their fight, Akira would manage to get the upper hand, even doing some severe damage to her. It was then that her assistant, Kaim, would arrive as well. Her loyal subordinate that had been close with her from the very beginning. Even now, as she found herself in a weakened and injured state, he still stood by her side. And even now, he offered his life to her. Of course, she felt like it was pointless. In the end, she was only going to die, and she would just drag him along with him. But he was all right with this, if it meant that he could give his life for her sake. In the end, he had his own reasons for doing what he did. And for Akira, he saw something that was truly bewildering. What stood before him were two demons, creatures that, for all intents and purpose, should be marred with evil. And they were. They had done despicable things, horrible things. And yet this level of emotion that was exuded between them, an emotion that was almost human in nature, a sense of innocence in that moment, that one should lay their life for another. Kaim and Serene would morph into one, becoming a hybrid, both of them gaining their vigor and strength as they charged towards Akira with a newfound strength and purpose. And for Akira, he was left with mixed emotion, but that emotion would quickly be drowned and turned into rage. Even if he could understand them, even if he could relate to them. It did not change ultimately what they were. They were his enemy. That was a line that had been crossed. As now the merged Kime and Serene united together in their own union, feeling entirely unstoppable. Akira found himself at the mercy of the two, but for some reason death never came to him. By the time he awoken, he found himself in the arms of Ryo, who had poured some liquid into his mouth, causing his arm to be restored, and on the outside, the merged demon had killed itself. It didn't have the strength to live, even with the newly found power that it had been given. Perhaps in this merged state, they thought that they had found a new strength, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Before Akira, he was left more confused than anything else, because now it started to make him wonder. Were they really as bad as he had once thought? Did demons really have a heart? As Akira and Ryo would go back to his place for the night, Akira and Ryo would see someone rather familiar. It was a young man by the name of Miura Koda. He was also a star track student for a rather prestigious high school, and at the upcoming sports meet, where many of the schools were going to be competing in track and field and in other sporting events, Ryo would casually comment that Koda was a demon. What? How are you sure? Because I've been paying attention to him for a while now. His records have gone up exponentially. Even for a star athlete of his capabilities, for him to have improved as much as he did in such a short amount of time, it's the only logical answer. My likely guess is that he has gone to one of those Sabbaths, and he has made a contract with a demon, and he's gained a stronger body in the process. Are you sure, though? I mean, what if he isn't? What if we make a mistake? I can assure you, Akira, we will not be making a mistake. Then what are we going to do? If this guy's going to show up at the track meet and it's just... Don't worry. I'll have it under control. I don't know. I feel like I should call Urahara and the others, and don't bother doing that. You saw what happened to everyone after our first encounter with the demon. You've gotten a lot stronger on your own, Akira. Haven't you seen it? You've been taking them on all by yourself. The way I see it, let them rest up. If anything, they've probably gone back to their respective homes or doing whatever it is that they do. This is our fight, and we're going to win. Akira still didn't feel all too comfortable with that, but he felt he could trust Ryo at least. If anyone had his best interest at heart, it would be him. He was the one that stood by his side through all of this. And while he was grateful for his dad coming back to when he did, and for the help that the others had given him, especially when it came to saving Miki in their fight against Kamu, maybe it was time for him to take things into his own hands. But still, there was something about Koda, something that was alarming. Not so in a negative sense, but more so in a sense of familiarity. As if when he saw him, he saw himself. As if they were kindred spirits in a way. The day of the track and field event would arrive. It was a big deal in Japan, so much so that it was going to be broadcast nationwide. Ryo, due to his connections and financial status, was serving as one of the sponsors for the event, and as such had a lot of leeway. But they weren't the only ones there. Ishin and Masaki had shown up as well. with Ishin's left arm covered up in a cast. "Hey," Akira would say, you made it. Well, I didn't think you'd be here. Are you alright, dude?" "Yeah, this is nothing. It's just because I got carried away the last time." "No!" Masaki would give him an elbow to the ribs. She had a pout on her face, but for Ishin, he still found it rather cute, even when she was a little mad. "Anywho, have you heard from the others?" Masaki would say. "Last time I heard, Rosvisa had gone to visit Jericho. He seems to be doing a lot better, but whatever he did in his fight against Kamu, it really took a lot out of him. So it seems like he's still going to be on the mend for now. Yeah, we've heard that you've been going out hunting demons on your own. You could have called us." "Yeah, but I didn't want to bother you guys. You'd already done more than enough. I feel like I need to pick up a slack a little bit, And about your father?" Ishin would say. "I heard that he's returned, and that he's been playing a role in all this." "Yeah, you could say that. He seems to be a busy guy. He's always going around everywhere. He said something about meeting a guy named Sir Zex, and Sir Zex?" Masaki and Ishin said simultaneously. "He's going to meet with one of the Devil Kings? Just what type of family do you have?" "Huh?" "He's meeting with one of the great Devil Kings, one of the rulers of the underworld," Ishin would say. "That's not something normal people do on an everyday basis. Hell, even people that aren't normal don't just get those type of meetings casually." "Well, he's a very popular guy, I guess. But for now, it's just been up to me. I've been trying to make sure that I keep everything steady going forward. Well, me and Rio, at least. Anywho, I don't think anything's going to happen here. But we just wanted to give you the heads up," Masaki would say. "Yeah, plus we're looking for some entertainment," Ishin would say. "So, give it your best shot, devil boy." As the two of them would go to take their seats, sitting high up in the stands, a young man wearing sunglasses, dressed in an all-black school uniform. His name, Yaga Masamichi, along with a few others dressed similarly to him. "I want you stationed here, here, and here. We have our orders. We're to protect the civilians by any means. And if anything goes out of whack, we summon the barrier immediately and we evacuate. How many people do we even have on standby, Yaga? Besides the four of us, we have some help coming in from Kyoto. A few of their students are going to be assisting." "Yeah, and what the hell is a bunch of second grade going to be capable of doing? Hell, it would take all of us just to take out a handful of demons if they showed up. If a whole horde starts breaking out, we're done for. It's not like we can call every special grade to this one area. A lot of them travel all around the world," Yaga would say. "They're busy. It's up to us. There's no point in complaining about it." "Whatever. Let's get to work." As everyone was getting ready for the events that were set to take place, Akira would spot Koda in the locker room. Without any warning, he would walk over to him, his face being filled with tears and snot, but he was trying to reach out to him, and unknown to everyone else, if only for Koda, it seemed to be working. Before long, everyone would take their places on the track as the multi-man race was set to begin. Miki was waving over to Akira on the other side as he was going to be the anchor of the race. As the first laps were beginning, the spectators would cheer on and watch as the racers would begin to move. First Miki, who was followed up by Miko, who was a bit weird in the girls' locker room, talking about wanting to be the real Miki or something. She didn't really know what the girl was getting at, but she loved the enthusiasm at least. As for Akira, when his time finally came, he almost bypassed Miki to try to catch up to Koda. For Koda, he thought that he was the only one, well, besides he and Miko, the ones who had done what they did. So you could imagine his surprise when Akira, of all people, was keeping up with him. No way. Are you saying you're... I know. I'm just like you. What? Listen. You're going through a change right now. I can tell. I've seen it in your eyes. The way you looked when Junichi passed. What do you know about that? I know that you're still human. There's still a part of you that's human inside. I'm saying that we don't have to. In that moment, music would begin blaring through the speakers of the arena. At first, Akira wasn't sure what that was, but he quickly remembered. That was the music that played during the Sabbath at that underground club. But why was it playing here? Koda? Koda! Akira would say. Koda, what's... Koda, you need to fight it. Koda, you need to fight it, or else they're gonna... Ishin, are you seeing this? Yeah. This doesn't look good. Damn it. Alright then. We need to set it up. Alright, team. Cast the barrier. Immediately, a black veil would envelop the entire track and field, obscuring its view of the people, making everything appear to be normal. On the track, it seemed like the racers were just standing there when suddenly the ground would begin to shake. Everyone thought that it was the signaling of an earthquake, and immediately the evacuation would begin. The veil loosely obscuring the vision of the people watching down below, obscuring what they could really see, as Koda would begin to transform into a demon. And even more people in the stands were starting to transform as well. Masaki and Ishin would quickly stand up, as Ishin would pop one of the soul candies into his mouth, quickly turning into a Shinigami form, as his right hand grabbed hold of his blade, and Masaki would summon her Quincy bow. We need to focus on getting as many people out of here as possible. What about Akira? We can trust him to hold his own. And look, it looks like some of Jericho's friends are here as well. I'm sure they can back him up until we get back. Right. Akira would attempt to help Koda, when suddenly another voice, a voice that they couldn't recognize, was beginning to speak through the monitor. People of the world, please listen to me. What is happening before you now, the truth that has been hidden from you for so long, is now coming to light. Do not be deceived. Do not ignore what is within your hearts. This is not a natural phenomena. This is not a random occurrence. There are forces in the world, forces that have lived amongst mankind since its very beginning, that have been lost to the ages, lost to history. They conceal who they are. They hide in the shadows. They masquerade. They take on the form of your family, your friends, your lovers, those whom you trust. they have hidden in plain sight. They hide their evils in the dark, but this will expose them to the light. This is not the act of God. This is the act of the demons. They live, they walk amongst us. Look to your left and look to your right, for they could be among you in this very moment. Any one of them could be next to you. This concludes Devilman Crybaby, Summer of 1999. What if Akira was the son of Hellstorm, Part 7. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned tomorrow as we continue with Part 8 of Devilman Crybaby, Summer of 1999. What if Akira was the son of Hellstorm, Part 8. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.